Hello everyone and welcome to my channel FPL Fast Track. My name is Jamal and today I am going to go through my final thoughts for game week number 9. Let's get to it. So my team selection for game week 9 is a mixture of Newcastle players. I've tripled up on Newcastle players. I've tripled up on Bournemouth players. I've got a few Man United players. And I've got Haaland in my team as well. So this is the making of my team. I've gone for a formation of 3-4-3. I think there's a big opportunity for strikers this game week number 9. And I think Newcastle, Arsenal, and Man United have the best opportunity to score in this game week. Now, if we focus on Newcastle, Newcastle are playing Fulham. Now, the first thing we see is Newcastle have won half of the home games. Fulham haven't won any matches away yet. So that is a clear indication that if the patterns continue, Fulham are unlikely to win. At the same time, one thing I see, at the same time, one thing I really like is Fulham have conceded 7 goals in the past 3 games. One of the clear indication that Newcastle are going to score is mainly because Fulham have conceded 7 goals in the past 3 games. Now that's quite a lot of goals. Now if we have a look at Fulham's away record, we can see they've played 4 games away so far. They've conceded 9 goals whilst playing away. And the last 3 games, they've been conceding an average of 3 goals, just under 3 goals. So they've been conceding 2 or 3 goals when they play away. So that's a clear indication that Fulham are highly likely to concede. Now, in terms of losing, if we see the teams they played with Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Bournemouth. So they are a similar level team to Newcastle. So we can assume that it's going to be a similar scoreline as 3-1, maybe. So if we follow this pattern, the best thing to do is invest in Newcastle attack. However, on the other hand, we can see out of 4 games, Fulham have only scored 3 goals. So they are clearly struggling to score goals. Now, if we look at Newcastle's home record, we can see they've played 4 games, they've won 2 games, and they've lost 2 games. At the same time, we can see that they have played against Liverpool and Arsenal, so they've lost against the top quality teams, whereas teams which are more in the same level as Fulham, like Nottingham Forest and Wolves, Newcastle have generally come on top and won the game. We can also see that Newcastle have conceded 5 goals and scored 6 goals. So I'm quite confident. I'm very confident in Newcastle coming out on top and winning this game. So let's have a look at the best players. Now, if we look at Newcastle United, we can see that Waltermaid has got 32 points in total, and he's been very consistent. Apart from game week 5, he's scored a goal every single game week since he's started with Newcastle United. His minutes are quite good as well. It's now 90 minutes. So he started off with less minutes, but now he's got 90 minutes. The second, one of the other top players in Newcastle is Burns with 34 points in the past 6 games. He has a total of 45 points. We can see last game week they lost against Brighton. However, he blanked as well. So Burn blanked last game week. He is selected by 10% of the FPL community. So, but he is a player with the highest points. And Nick Pope as well, he's been doing really good. He's been really solid at the back. And playing against Fulham, you just get a very strong feeling that he's gonna get at least minimum 6 points as well. So therefore, for my selection, I've gone for Waltermaid as my striker. I've gone for Burns and Pope as well. So they are part of my team. The next team that I feel that are going to be very good is Bournemouth versus Newcastle. Now this is a fixture that on paper it shows that it's a one-way game. You can see Bournemouth's home record. They have won 75% of all their home matches so far. At the same time, Nottingham Forest haven't even won a game away yet. We can see another interesting fact. Nottingham Forest have conceded 6 goals in the past 3 game weeks, exactly the same as Bournemouth, but Nottingham Forest have not scored a goal in the past 3 game weeks. We can even see how at the same time, Nottingham Forest haven't scored any goals in the past 3 game weeks, whilst Bournemouth have scored 8. So the data clearly shows that Bournemouth are highly likely to score. At the same time, Nottingham Forest are highly unlikely to score. Now, if we look at the stats in detail, Nottingham Forest's away record is very, very poor. Okay, if I remove the away. So overall, Nottingham Forest have conceded 15 goals. And you can see the last time they scored a goal was in game week 5 when they played against Burnley. Now, if we were to ignore that, they haven't really scored a brace, or they haven't really won a game since game week 1. Now, I know they've got a new manager in place, Sean Dyche, so that's the only thing I'd be a little bit wary of, because when a new manager comes in, there's a new structure, new culture, and is he going to park the bus? Or what can he do? I mean, he just started a few days ago, so I don't think he can do much in a few days. But if he has like a park the bus kind of mentality, you never know, Bournemouth might struggle. But to be honest, the data is still very strong, and because of that reason, I'm actually going to captain Bournemouth. I'm actually going to captain Semenyo. Now, and that's why I've picked Semenyo here as part of my team. Senesi has been selected 26% of the FPL community. And this is an interesting pick that I've got. Ellie Junior Krupi. Now, he played really, really good in the last game week number 8 against Crystal Palace. He scored 2 goals. He got 12 points. But why I selected him is if he gets more minutes, he is likely to score a goal. Now, considering they are playing against a team that are very poor at the back, and that's why I feel like if he gets some minutes, he's most likely going to score. So it's very, very interesting. So if we analyze his data, we can see that since in between game week 3 and game week 7, he has only got a total of 18 minutes. That's not much at all. But you can see in game week 6, although he only played for 9 minutes, he actually scored a goal. And the first time he got decent amount of minutes, which was game week 8, he ended up scoring 2 goals. So there is something special about him. He's selected by 2.5% as well. So that's actually quite high. So he's not a complete unknown player. You can see in this game week alone, there's been over 95,000 people transferring him in. So he's going to be kind of like my wild card pick. I actually think, given that he gets some minutes, he is likely to score goals, and I am picking the team which I think is going to get maximum points. So I've got him in my team. Senesi, why did I have it? Well, it's very, very likely Nottingham Forest are not going to score. So that's guaranteed points here. You could even have Petrovic in goal if you want. But I've got my 3 players here. The next fixture that I wanted to cover and I was very interested in is Man United. And I've selected Bruno Fernandes and Mbumo in my team. Why did I select them? Let's analyze. Okay. So Man United are playing home. They have an excellent record playing at home this season so far. They've won 75% of their matches playing home, and they're playing against Brighton, who have only won 25% of the away game matches. In terms of goals and stats, it's actually very similar. In fact, Brighton actually have a slightly tiny bit better record if we look at the past 3 game weeks. So Brighton have scored 6, conceded 3. Man United have scored 5 and conceded 4. But why have I selected Man United? Let's have a look at this fixture in more detail. Okay, so Man United at home, their record shows that they've won 3 games and they've lost a game. And the game that they lost was the first game week 1 when they lost against Arsenal 1-0. Now, since then, they've scored 7 goals in 3 matches, and they've only conceded 3 if we ignore Arsenal match. Whereas, on the other hand, if we look at Brighton's away record, they've lost 2, they've won 1, and they drew once. And if you look at the number of goals they've conceded, that's a lot more. So when they've played it away, they've conceded 6 goals, and they've only managed to score 5 goals whilst they were playing away. And if you look at the teams they played, they haven't really played any really solid teams apart from Chelsea and Bournemouth. Actually, they won against Bournemouth, so that's a pretty good achievement. But you can see they won 3-1 against Chelsea. But now, if you look at the teams that they played against, you can see they won against Chelsea, but that's when Chelsea got a red card early on, so Chelsea struggled in that game. At the same time, they've lost against Bournemouth and Everton, and they struggled with Wolves. So, considering they are playing Man United, who are in a really, really good form at the moment, they won against Liverpool at Anfield last game week, so they've got all the confidence in the world right now. So I honestly think they are going to perform really, really well. So if we were to pick the best player from Man United, I can see for Bruno Fernandes, he's got a total of 36 points. 32 of them came from the last 6 game weeks. Now you can see he is their top player. At the same time, Mbumo as well. He's got 32 points in the last 6 weeks, 36 in total, and he's been doing really well as well. And I've been really enjoying the way Man United have been playing. They look like a very threatening and attacking team. So that's the reason why I have gone for Bruno Fernandes and Mbomo for my team. Arsenal are the next team that I have. Arsenal are the next team that I'm going to talk about. I have Gabriel in my team, Rice as well in my team. So I've got two. I've chosen two players from Arsenal. And the reason why I've chosen Arsenal players, Arsenal are highly likely to win. They are playing Crystal Palace, and and the main reason I feel they are likely to win is because they've got this momentum. They've been winning against top teams, and teams are struggling to score against them. And you can see here. So Arsenal have only conceded one goal in the past 3 game weeks. Crystal Palace conceded 6 goals in the past 3 game weeks, and in terms of number of goals scored is very similar actually, but it's more interesting when you look at their home form and away form. Arsenal's home record is crazy. They have scored 11 goals in 4 games, so they are averaging close to 3 goals per game when they play at the Emirates, whereas they've only conceded 1 goal. So that is a very, very clear indication that this is going to be an attacking Arsenal. On the other hand, if we look at Crystal Palace's away record, it's not bad at all. They have won 2 matches, they lost one and they drew one, but they have conceded slightly more, and the number of goals that they're scoring is not on the same level as Arsenal. And for this reason, I am going to predict Arsenal are going to have a clean sheet, and we just need to figure out who is the best Arsenal player or attacking player to choose. Now, I can select Arsenal here, and Victor, he's been blanking the past 4 game weeks in a row. He's been transferred out 279,000 times. Rice and Gabriel is their strongest player at the moment. His points, he's been averaging he's been averaging 7.4 points per match, which is excellent. He's got a total points of 59. He is the strongest defender overall out of all the teams. So he's been transferred in another 330,000 times. So that's very interesting. So he is Arsenal's best talisman and player. He's been racking up how's his defensive contribution? But he's got very good defensive contribution points as well. In terms of attacking player, now this is more of a difficult decision because I because one thing I liked about Rice is he gets good minutes. Now, even though he generally gets 90 minutes, he still gets the low minutes here and there. But at the same time, every other player, you can see that on the right hand side, generally no midfielder have clear 90 regular minutes. There's always rotation going on. Now, Saka has been playing 90 minutes for the past two game weeks. He is clearly fit. He's starting to perform. if you can afford him, go for it. Definitely, I would love to have him right now in my team. But at the same time, Saka and Rice are the best mid attacking options. If we click on attacking returns, actually, for Arsenal, let's see how they are doing. Now, I know Saka hasn't played a couple of matches, but Eze actually has 3 attacking returns, all of which are assists. He hasn't been getting full minutes, and his points isn't all that, but he is selected by close to 14%. Um, so although he has the most, I wouldn't necessarily pick him. And so that's why I have gone for Rice. If you can afford, go for Saka as well. Finally, Haaland. Now, Haaland, he's in nearly 66% of people have Haaland. Haaland is a must have for your team. He's got an excellent record. However, he has a more tougher fixture compared to Bournemouth, and for this reason, I am not going to captain Haaland this upcoming game week number 9. Now, this is your opportunity to get more points, because nearly every Haaland owner, they leave him for captain regularly, and whenever you go against captaining him, you end up, and if you make the right decision, you end up getting more points. And that's what I did with Semenyo. So why I am not going to captain Haaland? Because they are playing away at Aston Villa. Aston Villa has been performing quite well. They've scored 7 goals in the past 3 game weeks. That's impressive. And they've only conceded 3 goals as well in the past 3 game weeks. Man City's been doing excellent as well. They've only conceded 1 in the past 3 game weeks, and they're scoring 8. They've scored 8 goals. Really, really good record. Now, if we look at Aston Villa home record, so overall, they had a slow start to the season. Now they seem like a team back to their best. The last 2 fixtures that they played at home, they've won. They've scored 3 against Fulham, and they scored 2 against Burnley. They've scored 5 total. They've conceded 5. So 50% win rate. They haven't really played against a team which is a high fixture difficulty. But at the same time, let's have a look at Man City's away record. Now, Man City have lost a game, drew a game, but won 2 games. And you can see when they played away, they're not scoring as many goals. So they scored only 1 goal against Brentford in game week 7. And that's the week I captained Semenyo, and I got pretty good results there. And I think it's going to be a similar scoreline, to be honest. I don't see Man City scoring multiple goals. I think it's going to be a potentially 1-0 win, or it could even be a draw. So for this reason, there's a clear indication that that Haaland is not going to be scoring a brace. You can't expect more than 1 attacking return from him. I mean, at the end of the day, he is unpredictable, but he is playing a tough team, and he's playing away. So that's my final thoughts for the week. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like and comment as well if you have any questions. Happy to answer.